Alrighty, welcome to a brand new type of video here from General Games. I'm Scott. I'm in the booth with Zach.
How are you, man?
I'm well. We're going to get right into it. We're going to talk about the brand new set from Star Wars Destiny, from Fantasy Flight Games. We're going to talk about the new spoilers that came out last night.
Yes, I'm so excited for these cards. There's a lot of really interesting things that we're going to talk about right now.
Yeah, for those who don't know, the new set's called Empire at War, which is on theme with the Star Wars. We've got some really cool stuff from Rebels. We've got some more EU stuff that's bringing it back with Disney.
Yeah, it's awesome. Looks like they're taking the main cast of Rebels, adding them in as characters, and we're getting a lot of flashbacks and stuff in the prequels as well, as is tradition with Destiny.
So let's dive in. So first card, we saw a picture. We saw like a 5-card split. We saw Chopper. We saw Mace Windu sitting there plotting. We saw Mace Windu as a character. We saw Thrawn. We saw Ezra Bridger. And we can't quite see everything. And I was thinking, maybe they're going to tease us. Maybe they're going to show like some of it. But then they showed us 4 of the 5 cards. So we'll go straight into it. Let's start with Thrawn. He's a master strategist in this game.
Okay.
So as you can see on the screen, he's 12 health, 14, 17. So it's reasonably expensive. 1 focus, 2 focus, 1 disrupt, 1 shield, 2 resources. But the reason you play him is not for the die; it's for the ability.
Yes.
And what is that? It's after you activate a character, you choose a number and then look at the opponent's hand and hit a card of that number. What do you think of that?
As the name tells, it is going to reward a master strategist. It's a great card for players who have a good awareness of the metagame. Like if I'm playing against a deck that has lots of 1-cost events like Vader Raider or an aggro deck, I'll name 1, look at the hand, pick out a 4-strike or a good removal spell.
Oh, yeah, Electro Shock.
Yeah, Electro Shock, something like that. If I'm playing against Han Rey, I don't want to land their holdouts or Vibro Knights, I'm going to name 2. Look at those key cards and pick them out. Interesting to note, Thrawn doesn't have any damage sides.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm not sure what you'd pair him with to utilize that in the best way, but the 2 focus and 2 resource are both really huge sides.
Well, that's it. Like this is very telling of the character. For those who haven't seen Rebels Season 3, he's very plotting. And
it's very thematically, it's so fitting, which has been like that all the way through Destiny. All the cards do feel like you're playing with that character.
That's very true.
I think it's really cool.
Very true. And this card, it rewards players for being good. And I love that in games. I love it when the designers say, hey, look, you've had the game for a bit now. Here's a card that really rewards those top tier players. And it encourages people to get better as well.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll move on from him, but I'm very excited about Thrawn.
So am I, for sure.
We're going to look at Master of the Council. So this is a brand new upgrade type. It's a blue hero upgrade. It's upgrade title.
Okay.
And we got it's got Mace Windu looking
like a master.
He does look like a master. He looks like a Master of the Council.
Yes.
4 resources a lot.
So you're comparing that to cards like One with the Force,
Mind Probe.
Is this worth it?
Force Lightning. Like it's a different faction, but you got to compare it to these cards to see if it was plus 3 resources. So plus 3 melee, plus 4 melee, 2 shields, 2 resources, and 2 specials.
Huge. It's massive.
That is
undefended. You can just take a character out.
Even if you've got interruption and stuff, you can play with Awakenings and just resolve it as 3 or 4. So then you've got this die that's just a beast. It's got 3 melee, 4 melee. And the special, exhaust this upgrade and spend 2 resources to ready a character. That is absolutely insane.
That's so brutal. Like there are so many massive blue characters like Luke and Obi-Wan that you want to be using a second time. We might even see another one in this very video.
This is we've seen, 5 cards in this set?
It's huge. Like 2 resources you can get off of its own die. It's got a 2 resource side.
That's very true.
It has 2 special sides, which means that you'll see this theoretically a third of the time. Yep. Which is huge. Like if you make a list around a character, this card is going in it. If it's a blue.
Exactly right. Like you're looking at we're looking at decks like Luke Ray and Obi Ray. Yeah. Stuff where Ray's definitely the B team. She's smaller. She can carry herself later in the game, but Luke's the focus. Obi-Wan's the focus.
Exactly.
And you slam this down on the big character.
Oh, it's terrifying.
It's crazy, right? Like, so it's like would you play an event that's 2 resources ready your character? I would.
In a heartbeat.
And this would place every single turn if you hit the special. So it's crazy. Yeah. And combo with Luke and stuff. Luke has a focus. Obi has focus. You can use one of Luke's or Obi's dice to focus the Master of the Council die to the special and then ready them and go again. You can do some absurd amount of damage a turn.
For sure.
Moving on now. I'll move to a red card. This is neutral, surprisingly.
Yeah, I thought it was hero.
Yeah, me too.
I had to do a double take.
It's got Leia and some Ewoks on it.
Yeah.
Classic hero characters. The day is ours. 2 resources. Claim the battlefield even if an opponent has claimed it this round. So this will end your turn.
It's so weird.
It is weird.
That's bizarre.
You won't get to do anything else after this, but you do get to take the battlefield off them.
Yeah.
And it means you're guaranteed to go to first next turn. You're going to get the claim ability.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think about it.
It's interesting. I compare it to a card like New Orders, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is 2 resources to
switch the battlefield.
Essentially, yeah, you switch the battlefield. Essentially, it's 2 resources to get the claim ability.
Yeah.
So if you are running a list that has a like something like Emperor's Throne Room,
something that really needs the battlefield,
that you care about the battlefield, and your opponent were to take it, then this is a good insurance, a backup plan. Or like just to interrupt your opponent from getting the first action is huge as well. It seems
sometimes that's just worth it. Like you're playing maybe a pro style deck or like it's a trap style deck, and you just want to hit and run in on turn 1 and just get things done. Maybe you do just want to spend 2 resources the previous turn to just take the initiative. But I just don't think you're ever going to use this unless your opponent has claimed it, because it doesn't do anything. You're just paying 2 reasons to claim it. It's worded a little strange. It's like even if they've claimed it, it's like only if they've claimed it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll move on to Mace Windu himself.
Was I talking about a big blue character earlier that might work well with a
you were alluding to something, were you? Oh, very, very nice.
Yeah.
Yes, this is the man himself, Samuel Jackson in the cardboard. 12 health, 1622, one of the most expensive characters in the game.
Yes.
I think he's just under Palp. Is it so Palp is the most?
28, Vader's 21?
Yeah.
Must be the second most. Yeah.
He's the second most expensive character in the game. And rightfully so.
Yeah.
2 melee sides.
Yes.
4 melee for a resource, a shield, a resource, and an action.
Yeah.
This is the thing.
Yeah. So, like, before even reading the action, that die is incredibly strong. 2 black melee sides that don't require resource costs, plus a 4 melee side that does.
Yeah.
It's a 50% chance to hit damage, and it always hits big.
Yeah, it's 3 damage sides are insane. Like, we look at like characters like Darth Vader Sith Lord, who's got a 2 and a 3, and then Darth Vader Dark Apprentice, who's got 4 damage sides. Damage is how this game ends. Like, it's not all about the damage, but that's how you win. So you're going to want your focal point of your strategy to eventually deal damage, unless you're trying to mill them or something like that. But yeah.
And speaking of how you're going to win, what is this action, Scott?
So you remove the die.
Yeah.
1 or 2, depending how it leads.
Yeah.
To defeat a character that has 2 or less remaining health. Now, that doesn't deal 2 damage. That just kills them. So they can have 2 health and 1 shield, 2 health and 3 shields. It doesn't matter. They're dead. Unfortunately, this doesn't get around second chance. But
no. That feels amazing. Like, it's not, incredibly overpowered or anything, but it just adds a little bit of consistency to your stream of damage.
And the thing, it's like if you're in a situation facing against Mace Windu and you're getting low on health and you can't control enough to damage. Like, if one of his die is still in the pool, he can just do this. So you've got to control his dice no matter what they show. Like if maybe Mace rolls 2 blanks and you're on 2 health, it doesn't matter. You have to remove both his dice that action.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So I'm glad that the big boy is in the game.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm a fan of how they did it. I thought it was going to be something different, but I'm pretty excited about how he ended up. Moving on, Ruthless Tactics. Now this card alludes to some things.
It does. 0
resources, villain red. Resolve 1 of your dice, increasing its value by the resource cost showing on it. Now, I don't know about you. I've only ever seen dice that cost 1 resource.
Same here. Yeah.
So, unless they're just going to have everything being buffed by 1, or they're going to produce maybe things that cost 2 resources. How do you think that'll look? Like, do you reckon it'll be 2 boxes next to each other on the card, or do you think it'll have like a number next to it?
Yeah.
Because
I like the idea of like little boxes lined up, but we'll see it. But yeah, I think for sure this card either is future-proofing or it's alluding to the fact that we'll have some expensive, powerful die, which would be really cool to see.
Well, that's a very good point. Maybe it is just future-proofing. Maybe they're thinking, look, we're not going to do it this set, but maybe in a few years they're like, we want a card with lots of things. Let's not write a Ruthless Tactics. Let's just get it right the first time.
It's good to think about. It shows they're thinking about the longevity of this game and that it is going to be a big, serious contender.
That's it.
Yeah.
So moving on now, we're going to go to Ezra Bridger.
Yes.
Force-sensitive thief. Now, this isn't the Ezra that we may have seen kicking around at the end of Rebels or recently. He's the Lethal Rat.
This is episode 1, cute, stingy.
That's it.
Kid Ezra.
But he's yellow.
Yes.
Which means he's not his full Jedi yet. Kanan hasn't come along and spoilers, sorry. He's only got his range damage at this point.
Yeah.
So one gun and a +2 gun. He's got a disrupt. He's tricky. He's got a resource. And his special is, I love this.
Yeah.
I love this special. Take 1 resource from an opponent. That's huge.
It's so fitting as well. Like, he's just a thief running around Lethal, trying to make ends meet. That's so cool.
Like, so you look at his die. He's got 1 disrupt. Take a resource from them.
Yes.
And he's got a resource. Get yourself a resource. And then specials both.
That's beautiful.
small thing to know, very small thing. Not many people play multiplayer, but this ability does target. So
it does.
So you could, if you were playing a 3 or 4 player game, the special might do something a little bit different than it does in the 1v1. I like it when they have little nods to that.
And speaking of small things, is cost.
Yes, 7/10.
Yeah. Is that the cheapest elite character in the game?
It's got to be up there.
Bala can be 11. There are 7 cost non-unique characters like Stormtroopers.
Yeah, I think 7 is the cheapest. Let us know if we're wrong. But,
It's huge to have in Heroes though, because Heroes haven't had a cheap multiple dice character. I mean, they've got Maz in this last set actually, and they do have Ray at 12. But
Ray's just been the go-to the whole way through. I'm glad there's a bit more diversity and different color as well.
That's it.
Yellow is such a great color.
Yeah.
For everything, they just have a good middle ground.
It gives you access to good removal and cards like Second Chance as well if you are banking on a character.
Well, that's it.
But
7 health, not a lot.
No.
Like it's. Do you really like? So something else we haven't mentioned. He can have blue upgrades played on him.
Yes.
Ignoring their restrictions.
So you can train him in the Force, but he's not good at it yet.
That's it. So he can take a 4 speed, which is cool, which is a 0 cost upfront investment. Like maybe that's worth it. But how many upgrades do you want to slam on a 7 health character?
I don't want to put my Force throws on someone who's about to die next turn.
Oh, that's exactly right. We'll move on.
Yeah.
We got a 1 resource yellow event in Hero. It's Quick Escape. This card I love. I don't know if I'm going to play it, but I love that it exists.
Yeah.
It's remove up to 2 dice showing damage. That's ranged or melee. You must pass all your future turns this round. So you are not going to claim this turn. No. You are going to go last.
Done. You were done.
Yes. Yeah. But removing 2 dice. Yeah. Like that's huge.
It's quite good actually. In a couple of niche decks, like if you're playing an action cheating deck like Pomaz or Han and Ray, you get your stuff done, and you're sort of sitting there waiting to remove die as they pop up. A card like Quick Escape fits into the strategy very well because you can just finish all of your proactive stuff, hang around, wait for your opponent to do something, interrupt it with Quick Escape for a small cost because you've already invested that cost in other things, and then you're done. Well, that's
exactly what I was thinking too. You like a quick deck. You want to get in there, get all your stuff done, and then just kind of wait, pass. Quick Escape. pass.
Yeah.
But it's definitely got a home in somewhere. I don't know where it's going to see yet. I'm excited to find out.
Yeah, so am I.
But yeah, well, it's interesting. It's a new design space, which is good. Prepare for War.
Yes.
Red villain, 0 cost. 0 costs are always crazy powerful. You have to really watch all the 0 cost cards in the game.
Yeah.
Play only if it's the first action of the turn. So that's not your first action, it's the first action.
Yeah, so you have to go first and you have to play this card first.
Yes, okay. Exactly. Gain 1 resource. Not a huge effect, but think about this. You got the battlefield. You've claimed last turn. You've set it up. You turn 1, prepare for war, get your 3rd resource.
Yeah.
That's enormous.
Yeah, I would argue that it is a huge effect because you've got 5 cards a turn and 2 resources a turn. Cards generally costing 1 or 2 each. Having resources means that you can play more cards, do more things, get closer to winning, which is a huge deal in Destiny.
Well, that's it. Your cards refresh as many as you play. Yeah. Your resources only refresh 2.
Exactly.
So resources are arguably more valuable than cards.
Yeah.
So it's...
And note of this villain as well, which ties in very well with the villain theme that has started to pop up with Emperor, Imperial War Machine, Ruthless Tactics we saw earlier, with cards that do have resource costs to resolve their die, which I think is a kind of something we might see a lot more of in this set.
Yeah, so like the military have the best weapons, but they've also got the highest costs. And yeah, so I like that they're sort of separating the hero and the villain decks.
Yeah,
like it used to be in Awakenings, maybe it was the heroes were felt a little bit underwhelming, but now they're doing different stuff.
That's right.
Because that's what Star Wars is all about. Like the Empire, it's not a one-on-one fight. It's about striking when the iron's hot.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're gonna get some more of that in Empire at War. Before we leave, there was a card sport a while ago. We haven't really talked about it. Sabine Wren, also from this expansion, from the Fantasy Flight In-Flight report, I believe.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yep.
She's the reason everyone's holding on to their thermal detonators. Yeah. No one's trading them away. They're just going to sit on them forever. So she's 11 health character, 1520. That's very similar to Luke.
Yeah, Luke is 1620, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's 2 range, 3 range, 3 disrupt, 4 a resource. So
oh wow.
Yeah. So like
yeah,
Ezra's taken from them. She's paying and then taking. It's kind of it's a bit different. 1 shield and 1 resource.
Yeah.
Very standard on the die. Before you activate this character, you may play a weapon from your discard pile on her, decreasing its cost by 1 if it had the thermal in its title.
Yeah, that's very cool.
So either they're just going to leave us with thermal detonator, and that's kind of all we're going to see a bunch more thermal stuff.
We'll see at least one more. I reckon a couple more than that, though.
Yeah,
so
I think
Sabine's just running in, bombing your opponent every turn, or as much as she can, reusing the bombs. It seems very flavorful for her as well, like I was saying earlier. Also, just like the 2 and 3 on the range damage is really big.
Well, it's huge. Like we've only ever seen that on Han and Poe, and they're both costed the 3s.
Yes, that's right.
So this is like... There's a lot more guns than there are melee weapons in the game, and it's much easier to get the guns in. Yeah. So she might... we might see like a Vader Raider style deck or a Luke Ray style deck with range damage.
Yeah. It does look like she is kind of the start of an archetype because card prints in this set, Ammo Belt, lets you discard that instead of the card that you were to discard, such as Thermal Detonator.
Yes.
It's been very popular lately with Second Chance in the Han decks.
Yeah, maybe not as intended, but...
Not as intended, but it still works.
Where we are.
And the thing is, Sabine is another big, powerful yellow character.
That's it.
Which means that you can run your Ammo Belts with your Thermal Detonators or your Second Chances and have one of those sort of central one character with a backup list like Vader Raider and Luke and Ray, that sort of thing, which is cool to see in yellow. Yeah,
so tell us what you guys think about the new set. Tell us what you think about the game currently. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the social media, all in the link below. And tell us what you think of these videos. We'd like to see more of them. What would you like us to talk about? And we'll be doing a few more in the upcoming
we'd love to hear your feedback.
Definitely.
Well, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah. See ya.